Hi friends, welcome to Somatic Yoga Evolution. I'm Jeanette Connery and this is your full somatic practice for releasing tension in the neck. The neck is a really easy place for our body to store stress and emotions and trauma, and there are also lots of mechanical reasons why you might be experiencing tightness and stiffness and pain in your neck. In today's practice, we'll start with a cortisol massage, which is going to help you flush out all the extra cortisol and adrenaline that's in your system. Then we'll move on to some gentle somatic movement to bring increased warmth and circulation to the muscles of your neck and shoulders. And then we'll move into a full body flossing technique, which is a magical neck release. Then to end, we'll use a very special breathing practice that will tone your vagus nerve. Before we get started, please make sure to like and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all my very best techniques on managing stress and trauma with somatics. So today's practice, we will start seated, so you can sit on the floor or you can sit in a chair. It really doesn't matter. Whatever is more comfortable, that's the thing that matters the most. I just want you to be comfortable as we're doing our somatic practices. And to release all the cortisol and adrenaline out of our system, we're going to start with the left hand, bring it to the right side of the neck. You're going to use the left fingertips, put those right at the spine and push into that area gently, and then rake your fingers, drag your fingertips around to the front side of your neck like this. Okay, and we'll do that a number of times, dragging the fingers from the back to the front. While we're doing this, make sure to take some deep breaths. Try to focus on the sensation of your fingers on your neck. Every time you exhale, imagine the muscles on the right side of your neck softening, releasing, your right shoulder dropping a little bit closer to the floor. And we're going to make our way down to the shoulders. So far we've been doing a lot of work on the traps, the upper trap muscles on the right side. We can continue that work all the way to the top of the shoulder here. Some things you might experience as you're flushing the cortisol and adrenaline out of your system. You might feel some shakiness. You might feel a yawn coming on. The biggest compliment you can give me is to yawn while you're doing yoga with me. That just means your nervous system is letting go of tension. That feels so good. And so we're going to take that hand, we're going to work our way down to the shoulder area. Now let's take our time, right? The thing that's really important to remember is when you're trying to release stress, you can't hurry. I wish it was possible, but whenever you hurry, your nervous system thinks there's a tiger chasing you. Why else would you be in a hurry, right? So the two don't really go together, releasing stress and being in a hurry. If you really want to relax, just take some deep breaths. Take your time here. Stay with the practice. Don't give up on yourself. And we're working our way down the arm. We're working our way down gradually. And there's no limit to how long you can take to this. I'm going to go at a moderate pace because I don't want the video to be too long, but you can always pause the video and spend more time on any of these techniques, because there isn't a prescribed amount of time that you need to spend on any technique to get the result you're looking for. It really depends on what's happening with you that day. It depends on so many things. It's really important to pay attention to how you're feeling and then just allow yourself the time to really sink into the practices. So we're working our way all the way down the arm. I'm to my wrist now. Once we get to the hand, we can do something called like the toothpaste squeeze. We're going to pretend we're squeezing the toothpaste out of the bottom of a tube all the way through the fingers, like this. I like to do that about 2 or 3 times on each finger. The last one, I'm on my thumb now. Okay. So once we've finished massaging the right arm, I'll invite you to come to stillness for a moment so we can observe. It's really important to take these little sacred pauses. Between left and right is always a good time to do that. And we can notice what's present. So what is present in the right arm, neck, shoulder, and what has changed? So I'm not looking for a specific answer from you. I'm not trying to tell you what you should be experiencing. Maybe there's been a change, maybe there hasn't. That's not really the important thing here. It's not the point. The point is that you're aware. Just be aware. And then see if there might possibly be a difference in sensation right now between the right shoulder and the left shoulder. Does one feel lighter or heavier than the other, higher or lower, warmer or colder? And when you're ready, we can move on to releasing the cortisol on the left side of the body. So we'll take the right fingertips, reach them around to the back of the neck, right at the spine, press into the skin gently and pull the fingertips forward. Now, this technique is really customizable, so I don't want you to think that you have to do it exactly the way I'm doing it. If you want more pressure or less pressure, you can change that. You can also change how you do your hand, right? You can kind of do a squeeze and pull if you want to, or any other variation that feels right. And when we're on this second side, we have another opportunity to notice, are the tissues on this side of your neck softer or harder than the tissues on the right? It's very common. One side would feel different from the other. Very common. Everything you're experiencing is totally acceptable. Totally acceptable. Because you are whole. You are acceptable exactly as you are. You're whole and complete. And you have everything you need to heal. Okay, so we've moved down to the top of the shoulder here, and I'm going to start making my way down the arm. Notice if your mind wanders off to your to-do list or perhaps even into critical self-thought. Just notice that, you don't need to criticize yourself again, adding to it. The mind wanders. That's the nature of the mind. And the way to respond to that is by gently bringing it back. Just bring it back here. You might even say to yourself, I'm here. I'm here right now. Right now I'm releasing stress from my body. I can think about those other things later. They'll still be there waiting for me after I finish. So good. And we're working our way into the hand here. And as we do the fingers, I want to tell you this is actually one of the first techniques in the Somatic Yoga Evolution Level 1 class. We start with a cortisol massage. That class is full of so many good things. Another thing that comes from that class is available in the link in the description. It's a easy way to get started with your somatic practice and rewire your brain to shift away from stress. It's called Enhancing Your Healing Journey. And I hope you'll click the link and get that free resource. It's very good. It's very valuable. And so we're working our way down the hand, pulling on each finger about 3 times. Okay. Okay. Last one. Here comes the pinky. Like I say, if you feel like I'm going too fast through this technique, you can pause the video and take as long as you want. And it's okay if this ends up being the only thing you do today. It's better to do one thing than 0. Okay. And we'll just do one more sacred pause before we move on. So sitting easily, pause to notice. Do the shoulders feel different from each other? And are they different in a new way? What changes have taken place? And if there is no change, just notice that too. Good. So now we'll be moving into a little bit of shoulder and neck movement, some gentle somatic movement to increase warmth and circulation to the muscles of your neck. We'll come to hands and knees. You might want to put a little extra pad under your knees. I actually already have some good padding here, so I'm not going to put my blanket there this time. But we'll be on the hands and knees, and I don't tell people exactly where the wrists and the knees should be. It should be comfortable, right? The knees should be a comfortable distance from each other. The wrists can be wherever you need to put them for comfort in your wrists. Personally, if I have my wrists right under my shoulders like this, I feel like that's too much tension. The energy doesn't flow up my arms and into my heart chakra as easily. So I like to shimmy those out a little bit and then cheat my fingertips out a little bit too to keep the shoulders externally rotated. And we're going to start a really simple circle with the head. So we're just taking the head in some circles here, feeling all the neck muscles. And then you can choose to let that movement travel into the rest of your spine, if you wanted to do that, that looks like this. Some of my friends call this hula hoop. I actually think of it more as like a jump rope. Like the entire spine, tail to head, is a big jump rope. Making some circles here. And this is nice because you'll be able to detect where are the tight places in my spine. Where am I tight here? You have the option of pausing in those tight places and going through them again and again if that's what feels right. And let's reverse direction here. So we'll go the other way. You'll notice that I go really slow. That's the way I believe we heal our nervous systems. We have to slow down. We have to drop away from all the efforting and all the doing and achieving and trying to be things, and just allow ourselves that space and time to just be ourselves. Not to be what we think we should be or what we think other people want us to be. Just to be as we are. Just as we are. Okay, so there's another movement we could do. If you're really enjoying this one, you can stay with it. But we could also perhaps try a little twisting. So for this one, I like to bring my hands a little bit closer to the body. And we'll take the left hand and just bring it out to the side and then up. Try to look up at your hand as long as that doesn't hurt your neck. And then we'll take that left hand and thread it through the gap between the wrist and the knee on the right side, bringing the shoulder all the way down to the floor and the head. Pull your shoulder down away from your ear, away from your head, and press your elbow into the floor. And hopefully you'll feel a stretch there between the shoulder blade and the spine, and the space there, the rhomboids and other muscles that go from your shoulder blade to your upper back and your neck. Okay, and then we'll come up back into this part of the twist. So this is kind of like a challenging twist, and then this is a relaxing twist. We come back down into the stretch. Now I want to show you, if you're having trouble getting your shoulder all the way down to the floor, because that happens a lot with the people I serve, you can use a prop to bring the floor up, right? So you can put your shoulder on the blanket and your head on the blanket, and then hopefully that feels a little bit easier. And then we'll end with that challenging twist again here, like this. Okay. Now we're ready to go and do that same practice on the other side. So we'll put the weight of the body on the left hand, and we'll bring the right hand out to the side and up, turning the head to look at the hand if possible. And then I invite you to bring that hand through the gap between the wrist and the knee on the left side. Shoulder all the way down to the floor. Pull the shoulder down away from your head. Push the elbow down into the floor. Good. And we'll come up into that challenging twist again. Looking up. Okay. And back down. So what I want you to know about this move and every move that you ever do with me, if it hurts, you shouldn't do it, first of all. You can change it, right? If you have a feeling that it'll be acceptable to your body, if you change it in some way, you can do that. One more big open, and then we're done. So let's rest in child's pose for a moment. We'll walk the hands away from the body and shift the hips back. It's kind of like an extended child's pose. Take a big breath into your upper back here and slowly let it out like you're blowing through a straw. Okay. Now we'll come back to seated, and we're going to go into this full body floss. And this technique involves being seated with the legs out in front of you, and we'll be here for a little while. So if you feel like that's gonna be too challenging for your back, right, you can always put your back against the wall like this, right? Which I think maybe I'll do that today. I'm feeling a little fatigued already. It's been a long week. Okay, so let's wiggle the toes. Remember, we're doing a full body floss, so that means from toes to the top of the head, we're going to have the whole body involved. So we're starting with some wiggling the toes, and then we can make some ankle circles. This magical neck release I learned from my teacher, Megan McCarthy, and she is here on YouTube. I'll put I'll give you a link for you to look at that. And then moving up, we want to think about the knees. So let's start with the right knee. We're going to turn the toes and the whole leg out to the right. Bend the right knee and bring that right foot closer to the body. And take the head to the left. So we're dropping the left ear towards the left shoulder. Just like we're looking at the bottom of our shoe. Hey, just checking to see if there's any toilet paper there, right? And then we can send the leg back to its starting position. And relax. Let's do that 2 more times. So if you want to use your breath as you do this, you can exhale, bringing the foot up to the body. Inhale, sending the foot back. Last one. Okay, we're going to change it a little. We're going to bring the foot around to the outside, and we're going to look around like this. So that means we got to shift the weight a little bit onto the left hip. Bend, and we're bringing right ear towards right shoulder. Like we're looking for poo-poo. Did I step in something? I sure hope not. It's kind of a daily thing for me when I walk my dog. Lots of little landmines all over the neighborhood we got to watch out for. Okay. Last one. Good. So next, we're not done yet with that right leg. We're going to do both of those movements and alternate between the two. So we have TP, TP check, and the poo-poo check. Last one. Good. Okay. Resting between sides. Notice if there's any tension perhaps in your back or your hips. You can try getting that out by wiggling your legs. Wiggling your shoulders. And then we'll do another one of those sacred pauses, moving from movement into stillness to observe what's present now. In the somatic yoga evolution, we do this very often, and I encourage people to do this many times a day. We just pause and say, what's present now? And whatever's present, we allow it to be there. We don't have to say it's good or bad. We don't have to decide we want it to go away or we want to keep it. None of that. Just the clear, spacious mind, noticing what's present, noticing what's not present, and allowing whatever it is, the truth of the moment, to be exactly as it is for now. We can allow things to be even if we wouldn't choose them to be as they are. We can remain open to change later. So I want to show you what it looks like if you're not leaning against the wall. You would just kind of be leaning back against your hands like this, right? So we'll start doing the left side, right? So we'll bring the left foot up and the head to the right. Two more times. Last one. Good. And now we're ready to go look at the bottom of the shoe from the other angle. Two more times. Good. And now we get to alternate, so that'll be 3 times in each direction. Looking for teepee. Looking for poo-poo. And I invite you to notice if one of these positions feels really a lot more yummy than the other, right? Because that happens, right? I know which one I really like. Last round. All right. And before we move on to the next part of our practice, we'll pause one last time. Just notice what's present. Maybe bounce or roll your shoulders a little bit to see what's present there. How do the traps feel? And now we're ready to do our very special pranayama, our very special breathing practice to tone the vagus nerve. And you can do this in a seated position. You could also do it laying down. You could put your legs up the wall. In my case, what I'm going to do is put my legs on a chair. I happen to have a yoga chair. It's just a metal chair with no back. And I like this because I can put my feet on it and there's no back that I have to contend with to get my feet through. And if you want to try legs on a chair but you don't have a backless chair, an ottoman or a couch, those are really very nice options. I have put my sweater back on because it's a little chilly in the room, and I know that when we lay down and do our breathing, we're probably going to get a little bit cooler as well. So I invite you to get blankets and pillows. And as we lay down, you can put a little pillow under your head if you feel like you need it, a blanket over your body. And when you're ready, we can start our breathing practice. This breathing practice is called the Brahmari hum, or the bee breath, and it's so simple. All you have to do is inhale and hum until you run out of breath, and then you breathe in again and you keep humming. The humming vibrates your larynx, and your vagus nerve actually happens to run through your larynx. You have one on each side. They come down behind your ears, through your throat, through your larynx, your voice box, and then down into your heart and lungs and all of your viscera from there. So by vibrating and humming, you're just sending some calming vibrations into your entire system. And this is a sound healing that you give yourself. You don't need any special equipment. You don't need crystal bowls, and it's absolutely free. You can give yourself this sound healing anytime you like. So we're going to be doing our Brahmari hum for about 2 minutes. When you're ready, I will start. Ready? And as we finish with our breathing practice, let's let the breath return to normal. Let the breath flow all on its own with its own natural rhythm. Be aware of the parts of you that move when you breathe. And thank yourself for showing up today. I thank you for making the world a little bit better, starting inside. No need to get up here from where we are. We can put our hands together, either in front of the heart or in front of the third eye. Namaste, my friends. Thank you so much. Please come back again and see me next time. Until then, take good care of yourself. Be as happy as you can possibly be. And remember, you're whole and complete exactly as you are.